Hello, everyone, and welcome to What Remains of Edith Finch. So, I've been seeing like TikTok videos of people playing this game. Apparently, this game changes your life. It's changed many people's lives. I want my life changed. So, we're just gonna hop straight into it. All right, what's going on? What Remains of Edith Finch? We're on some type of ferry. Is this my journal? How do I open this?
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Whoa. Okay, so we're reading her journal and living through
A chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it.
we're living
My
through
brother Milton
her journal.
disappeared when I was 4. It was like the house just swallowed him up.
Oh my goodness. Missing. If you have information about Milton. Okay, so Milton Finch. That was our brother. Somebody tried hopping that. Okay. Is that where I live? If so, that is a crazy house. Who built that? I don't know if that's up to
I
code.
lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
This place is beautiful. Imagine having this type of land. That would be insane. Orcas Island Gazette. This is so cute. This is a mini version of the house. What?
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Oh, that's not good. What do we see in this house? Hello? Anybody in there? Is my bedroom at the top?
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Oh no. Oh, that's so cool how the letters just shoot onto the ground. Looks like some missing papers down there.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Or will. Okay, there's two paths here. See, I'm all for going off the route and going for an adventure. What's down here? This where the papers are? A lot of papers.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
I feel that. The woods around my house are very uncomfortable, and actually I've had nightmares about the woods near my house. All right, I don't know if we missed anything. Let's go up here. I can't run. Oh, what's that? Oh, hello. Oh, dang. We scared it away. Is there something over here we can see? No.
one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Oh, okay, I don't think there's anything on this path. Obviously, I'm sensing some sort of grief going on here. Am I an adult? Oh, am I pregnant? I'm pregnant. I'm wearing my wedding ring on my necklace. Is that for any reason? Or are my fingers just too swollen?
The
What
house
the
was
hell is
exactly
that?
like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
That's an oddly shaped house. Excuse me, what is that?
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
So it's a dragon. That is very weird to say to a child. A 6-year-old.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Maybe the way it was built, it might feel like it's just gonna tip over.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Am I 17 and pregnant? Am I a teen mom?
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Okay, maybe this is the back door key or like the side door. Or the garage. Oh, some wind chimes. That's so nice. Oh, we got a back play area. Okay, we're just gonna skip the key.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Alright, so we're in the garage. What do we got going on in the garage? Very, very neat. This garage, despite it being somewhat abandoned, it's very neat. This is, you're not gonna see this in majority of a garage. There's no way they keep things that neat.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
I see. That only makes sense.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
This is a beautiful house. What?
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Dawn, Edith, Eddie, and Lewis. So I'm Edith. Must be my birthday in that picture. In love and memory, Lewis Finch. Beloved brother to Edith, son of Dawn, great grandson to Eddie. Eddie? Okay, so beloved brother to Edith. So that would be my brother. Oh, wait, that brother. Oh.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Oh.
Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
This is so sad.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
What happened?
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Okay, so it's Edie.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
A smile with too many teeth is absolutely terrifying.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
I had to have been part of a rich family.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara,
Aww.
along with the rest of the house.
Aww. That's so sweet.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Perhaps
A lot of
he
things got left
was.
behind in the whirlwind of that
Or
last night.
is.
After
A lot of
Milton
photos.
disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Wow.
I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Is this what our key is for?
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
A secret passage.
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
Child drawing.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Whose room is this? Molly. Who's Molly? Something going on outside. Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Oh no. Oh no.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Yuck.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Outside looks different.
I kept eating and eating.
What are those spots on me?
I I ate a lot of things that night.
Why am I eating so much random stuff?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
Oh no.
And suddenly, I was
What?
a cat.
What the hell? Is this just
tried to be quiet,
a
but the boy
child's
was really
imagination?
scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Hmm. Seems to be maybe like what a child's imagination can entail. I want to get you.
I jumped and I almost got her.
And where did it go?
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Whoa. This is really cool. Where am I going?
Rabbits.
Where am I going? I can't really control this. Oh, I got it. I got it!
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Searching for something bigger.
A mama rabbit.
A mama rabbit. I got it.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Sorry, what? I'm a shark? Oh my god.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungry.
Whoa. I see a fishy.
I wanted fat, juicy seeds.
Oh.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
I have a really huge imagination.
Grabbed on tight, but I was and jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
What am I? What am I now? What is this? Hello? I'm some sort of snake or eel or... Why am I so long? This is so weird.
Now I was a monster and I smelled people everywhere.
A monster?
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
I just killed someone. This is kind of hard to control. Hold on, back up. Back up. This way.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
The sea shanty man. Oh my god, I'm a monster. Surely this is not my imagination, right? That's a nightmare.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
I'm in a pipe. Whoa. What kind of monster am I? Oh god, I'm coming out of a toilet. That is disgusting. Wait, is this my house? This is my room.
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
What happened? I'm getting goosebumps.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
It felt like it was just a child's imagination and her being sent to her room while hungry. And that monster could maybe, I don't know, a...
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Maybe it was just like a symbol of her being starving, the monster?
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
There's a lot of bird cages.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
Is this the entire family?
Her room was like a museum.
The Mysteries of Death and Thereafter. Odin Finch.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
There's a whole lot to unpack here.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Mole man.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Maybe to lighten the blow, sorta. You know, when kids wonder about what happened to people, maybe it was her way of trying to, I can't even say make it seem better, because like I'm trying to bring up like the fear aspect of death, but including dragons might
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie
make it
seemed
worse.
a lot
I don't
younger
know.
than my mother.
What the hell? Miss Girl like pink?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
There's a secret in this bathroom by Sven and Edie Finch. Oh, really?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Wow.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
There's so many secret rooms. Milton. Sam Finch, most improved player. Okay, so these two shared a room. This one must be the photographer one. A whole lot of army stuff.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
To command center.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Calvin. Aww.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Okay. I seem to have broken my
foot. He died
foot.
before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Like to be an astronaut. I see that based on his room.
Calvin, dinner's ready.
Coming!
Dinner's ready.
But
Am I
that
to
day,
get off?
he finally made up his mind to do it.
I guess I just keep swinging. Wait, what do you mean by made up his mind to do it? Do what? I'm swinging a little bit too hard
I
here.
told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
Uh-oh.
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
Am I trying to go around the
I
branch?
think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
No. No, no, no.
That's the day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
God. That's just so heartbreaking. The day he wanted to fly, his imagination.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Oh, he was just into astronauts and flying in space.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Is Grandpa Sam blaming himself? Oh. It's like we're going through the family's traumas and grief.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Milton.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Okay, so Barbara seemed to have been a child actor.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
And now we're gonna see how Barbara passed.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back.
Is that where there's a key?
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
The way that I'm actually playing this right now.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
I hit him.
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
This is so strange how I am playing this. This is so freaky.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Oh.
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Oh my god. Why am I walking so slow? He's not there anymore.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Great, that was awesome. Not sure if that's how she died, but
Remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
What happened that night? That couldn't have been real, right?
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Yep.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Should I go up?
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
I guess I can't go up yet. I must have to deal with the music box. So it's said to keep turning it. There it is. Now, what's gonna be the story down here? Seems like a old laundry room. Sven.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Another
Turned
secret
out she was hiding a
passage.
lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter, he had some insane bunk out. Insane bunker.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive the week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
That was a bigger shake. A bigger
Even
quake.
a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped.
2005.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now. The longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
What's going on here? Where does this lead to? My God, how did I get this built? The This is absolutely insane.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one real day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
But how did he die? Like, everything is such a mystery. Like, we can sort of put it together, but
I'm
not
sure
really.
My mom was trying to protect me.
I guess we're going down into the hole.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't
What's
want
all
to make the
this?
same mistakes she made.
It's his garbage disposal, I guess.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Oh, there's a path here.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
There's
Maybe
chairs
it'd
on
be
the
better if all this
trees.
just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
Does that look like Barbara?
And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think
I'm so
people in the
lost.
stories believed them, for what that's worth.
So we're going back into the house.
Had that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness.
any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
That is a good question.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Is this the pet cemetery? Oh my god.
3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Zerpy, Lurpy, Furpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy, Derpy Jr. Some unmarked ones. Why are they unmarked?
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly Finch. Calvin Finch. They all got symbols. Sven Finch. Edie Finch. What does that say? That's like some type of puzzle. Walter Finch. Look at that, there's a little character. Barbara Finch.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
The terror in their eyes.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Wow.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Gregory Finch.
Her dad had been pretty strict.
Sam
but it wasn't
Finch
enough to
and
save her
Gus
brothers.
Finch.
She was just trying to do better.
How did Gregory pass? Gus.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Andre and Lois.
We
But
never
here's
found
Milton.
Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
He's an artist. This is so
There's
sad.
So many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
22 weeks pregnant. Oh. I better be careful.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Okay, we're learning about Sam now.
They were both pretty intense.
Okay, so
Sam
Sam
spent his
was a
life
U.S.
shooting photos,
Marine.
but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Wow, he has a lot of medals. And the Purple Heart.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
K. Airline ticket from K. Finch. There's a whole lot of mystery here. My roof is also missing. All right, let's learn what happened to Sam.
Dawn, I promise.
Oh.
You'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm?
Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything? It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
Oh,
We'll never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
this is a trail. Hunting season, please. Use caution, stay on trails. Public hunting. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Smile, Dawn. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
This is beautiful.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
What am I looking for here? Oh, there's some birds. A little campfire area. It's a dam. Oh, there's a bird right in front of me. Nice.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely will. Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Why do I feel like I know what's gonna happen? Where is it?
Dad, I...
Just... Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Keep yourself squared up. Elbow. Great shot, Dawn!
Why am I taking a selfie?
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Oh my god.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Oh my god, he died hunting with his daughter. Oh, that is so sad. Meal ready to eat.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Baby Gregory. And Dawn. Divorce contract between Kay and Sam Finch. Wow. I'm not going to read all that, but if you want to read it, feel free to pause.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
I'm baby Gregory right now.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
How old am I? You should not. You should not leave me in here.
I wonder what he saw.
I'm swimming around as this.
So much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
We get the other toys. I flipped it. Can I bring the other ones in here? Oh. Gotta jump on this?
Silly it sounds.
Uh,
But I worried about a baby being too happy.
Yay, I got them.
But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Oh.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
As a mom, that is a true fear.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
Poor baby Gregory.
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Oh my god, I need a second. Oh. I feel so bad for baby Gregory. As a mom, that is a true fear. And I can't imagine what she went through. Oh my god. Poor baby Gregory. I feel so bad for him, for her. That is absolutely terrifying on a whole different level.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
That really hit me in the
A poem
feels.
for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
I'm absolutely torn. Okay, I see what I gotta do here.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Try and get it together.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Oh. It's all right there.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Oh my god.
Rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Oh, this is all so hard to hear and see. Seems like they had a strict routine. Of course, I gotta climb.
Loft after her brothers died.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
All right.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
Missing.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Edith, Milton, Lewis, Dawn. We had our own little garden.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Great job. What a beautiful view.
But it didn't last.
Relief efforts end in disaster. Oh, is that how her dad passed?
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
How are we gonna get in there? He's making a sculpture of something.
Happy to finally have another painter in the family.
All right, let's learn about Milton.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
was 4 when Milton disappeared.
But if he painted that, how did that... It's like it came true, whatever he painted.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Alright, we go up.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room, except Lewis.
He had a boat room.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
I see what kind of man Lewis was.
He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Dawn Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
Began to what?
wander.
What? Oh my god.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
I'm trying to cut the fish at the same time.
But he found something more.
Wow, this is really cool.
Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss.
I kind of feel like I know where this is headed.
Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something.
This is so cute.
Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Where am I going?
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
This
We
is
started drifting
awesome.
away from our reality.
It's taking up most of my screen now.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince. The prince was on his own quest for
Radiant rainbows, hell
radiant
yeah.
rainbows.
Whoops. Whoops. Ah.
He followed the sound of his
Go with silver harp.
silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh my god, I can't see the chopping
He knew
machine
the world was
anymore.
all in his imagination.
This is pretty difficult.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Oh. I'm back as Lewis. It's gotta be my locker. It very much seems like it.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
I can't imagine how this place must stink.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
This looks like the palace with the stairs. Oh God, is this what happened?
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Sorry, I had to do a quick dance break.
His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Aww. He was just a daydreamer.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
He just dreamt of a different life.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing.
Lewis, I don't know, he just wanted more in life, and mental illness, perhaps, crept up on him, and
She waited until
the
day
work
before
environment
we
was
left
not
to tell
safe.
Edie.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Edith, Mom.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Hmm.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another.
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
What was the last night?
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Assuming I'm following the
power had
lights.
been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance.
Ooh.
Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
History of the Finches.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years.
Oh, we're going to the old house?
God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by.
It's so cool
My mom didn't like to talk about
how
it,
they incorporate the
but she
the
started
story,
getting sick a lot.
the letters.
The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Aww. Did she pass during birth? Oh, that gives me such chills. Shirley Dallas. Oh my god. I'm not even sure what I want to say about this, but this was an absolute ride. There's so much detail. There's so much to process. It struck me in a spot where I didn't think a game could. No, I absolutely loved playing this. Definitely makes me think about a lot. I really enjoyed playing this game. I'm not sure how to gather my thoughts currently. That was What Remains of Edith Finch. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear your own thought process throughout this game. I think this game just absolutely changed me. I can see why they say how this game changes you. I definitely get it. But with that said, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.